Now Farmer John was simple, but not extremely so. He loved his land and he wanted it to know. So he threw out the chemicals and started learning more. Of course he kept his tractors and always did the chores.
Hello friends, I'm Farmer John. Welcome to Angelic Organics Farm. We're starting here in the main barn of the farm. It's really the heart of the farm. It's the mainstay of the farm. It's where the action has been taking place for the last many decades. This barn was built in the 50s. I remember my mother sketching out plans for it in 57 at our kitchen table. And she said to me, "How do you want it to look, John? What would you like for the style of the barn?" And I said, "I would like it to look like this, with the tall, arched rafters." The next summer, I looked up, and there were these rafters going up against the clear blue sky. Shortly after that, the roof went on. We drove our dairy herd in downstairs, and I started milking. I milked day and night from the time I was 9 years old for the next many years. Of course, it took more than just a herd of cattle to make the farm go. We had to raise the feed for the cattle. We raised it out this way in these fields out here to the west and out to the south. We raised the straw from the oat crop, the hay from the alfalfa and the timothy. We would harvest it in late summer. We'd bring it in, elevate it here up to the loft. We would store it way up to the peak of the barn. And if you think about that, it was really transformed warmth and sunlight from the summer being stored in the form of bales of hay and straw, awaiting the cold, blustery winter months for the cattle downstairs. A loft, if you imagine it, in a way filled with the light and warmth of summer. Of course, you can't make a farm go just out of cattle and feed and earth. It takes people. It took the family, my family, to make it go, and our hired man, and sometimes our neighbors. Imagine tending the crops, harvesting the crops, tending the cattle, milking, cleaning, feeding. The tremendous amount of coordination of integrating of forces, of energies. You had the cycle of life. You had the feed coming in from the fields, going to the cattle. The cattle would make milk for market, for cash, make manure for fertility. So you had this cycle of life. This went on for many years. It was really a classic picture of a self-contained farm, of a farm organism. By the time I was in my early 20s, I didn't want to milk anymore, day and night. Got tired of it. I sold the dairy herd. With the dairy herd gone, I missed animals on the farm, so I started up a hog operation. And that had the fabulous advantage of freeing up spaces in some of these buildings where we could hold festivals. We could hold large gatherings, and we began to celebrate the equinox, the solstice, May Day, Hanukkah, Easter. And these celebrations somehow enhanced or heightened the experience here of farming. And the farming experience enhanced or somehow elevated the festivals. And we recognize this as sort of a being, really, a farm being. We gave it a name, the Midwest Coast, art and agriculture. This theatricality that we were experiencing here on the farm, this feeling of drama began to crystallize, and we realized that the barn wanted a stage. It wanted a theater. So the barn got its stage. Not only did it get the earthly stage, but it also got a heavenly stage. Down here on the earth, we have gravity, we have responsibilities, we have tasks. But up there in the heavens, we have freedom, we have effervescence, we have levity. Because we have the poles of heaven and earth, we have to harmonize them. We have to get them in sync. So we need a mediating stage. It's really the heart. It synchronizes and harmonizes the forces between the pole of heaven and the pole of earth. Over here, we have an homage to biodynamics. Biodynamic farming was introduced by Rudolf Steiner in the 1920s. We have here another picture of earth and sky. Down here in the earth, we have the mineral element, we have gravity, we have heavy machinery. This is how almost all agriculture is approached today. It's through the earthly. But up there, we have the heavens, largely forgotten today. We have the stars, the moon, the sun, we have the planets, we have the comets. They shine down on the earth. So here we have these mediating practices of biodynamics. These practices seek to harmonize between the earth and the sky to facilitate the communication between heavens and earth so that we have more harmony, we have more satisfaction with the whole cosmic system. Rudolf Steiner's body of work, known as anthroposophy, has had a huge influence on my life. I've been studying it for many decades, and my development as a human being has been very influenced by his teachings, and also the unfoldment of this farm, Angelic Organics, in the artistic realm, the social realm, the agricultural realm. Anthroposophy has played a tremendous role in our development. So these ways in which anthroposophy has influenced me, just picture here the stage, the earthly, and the heavenly. And then the mediating influences of the second stage, or the heart. Over here, we have the biodynamic homage, the earthly, the heavenly, and the mediating influences of the biodynamic preparations. And this whole barn itself, originally downstairs, the cattle with their gravity, their substantiality, with their earthliness. And up here, this loft filled with light and warmth from the summer, stored in the form of bales of hay and straw. A cosmic space, a heavenly space. Up here, downstairs, the earthly and the mediating influences of human beings, choreographing, orchestrating, implementing.
During this time, the writings of Rudolf Steiner inspire me. He was an Austrian mystic and scientist whose teachings completely altered the way I view nature, community, education, and the spiritual world. His lectures inspired community-supported agriculture in the United States and gave rise to the worldwide biodynamic and organic movement. This is trillions of little microcosms that are imprinting this material into itself for application to the fields. Now we've been an organic, biodynamic, community-supported agriculture farm for over 30 years. We raise about 40 crops here with a hard-working crew, fertile soil, good equipment. Drama constantly prevails in agriculture with the weather, the bugs, weeds, equipment, the help, the heartaches, the losses, the abundance. A farm is in many ways a theater, a stage. Maybe that's why a stage seems so appropriate here.
Let's see what we got this week.
Hey, there's some kale.
What's this? Do you know what this is?
Yeah.
What is this?
I don't know.
Kohlrabi. What do you think we do with this one?
I don't know.
We got our potatoes and some tomatoes, broccoli, and we got a kohlrabi.
We supply about 2,400 shareholders in Chicagoland and locally with their vegetables and herbs. Not only do we nurture people with the festival of food, our buildings also embody the festival spirit. Festivals of light, color, views, textures, rhythm, proportions. This is the milk house where we used to store the milk from our dairy operation. It's got lassured ceilings. That's a painting technique introduced by Rudolf Steiner. Dormer windows. And it has a grand staircase because a barn loft is a sacred space, and I feel it deserves a grand staircase. Always, in bringing our farmstead into the future, we design it with the human being in mind, seeking to uplift our fellow humans with beauty, to provide them with a sense of well-being, and to acknowledge their humanity. This is the granary where we used to store the oats and the corn for the cattle and chickens when I was little. Now notice the lassured window wells in rows. They face the rising sun to the east. And then over here we have the lassured blue window wells facing the setting sun to the west. And here we have a very special award for the real dirt on Farmer John from Roger Ebert. That film was very close to Roger's heart. The film actually garnered 31 festival awards. And here we have Little Farmer John. So this granary, it seemed to have a bit of a mind of its own and wanted to help with the design. And so wanted a disco ball. Go figure. We don't build anything here unless it is going to embrace and lift up the human being. I'm thinking as I talk about all these design considerations, we should take another look at the stage. Wow, what's going on up here? Oh my gosh, it's Velsum. It's their inaugural performance of New Nightingale, New Rose, right here on our Angelic Organic stage.
Building the temple of the heart.
Thinking, doing, feeling, building the temple of the heart. Thinking, doing, feeling, building the temple of the heart. Loving, opening, thanking. Loving, opening, thanking. Loving, opening, thanking. Building the temple of the heart. Thinking, doing, feeling. Building the temple of the heart.
Velsum is so fabulous. Make sure to check out their work and also see their upcoming performances. And friends, join us in this journey at Angelic Organics, where through celebration and festivals we lift up the culture and agriculture to its deserved place. Through the growing of food, the design of our buildings, and the performing arts, we seek to spiritualize the earth, to nurture and inspire human beings, to remind them of their humanity, of their capacities, and to rekindle their dreams.